Want to see how cool I am. See if I can sit in silence. Just wait. This might be a shock to a lot of systems because I don't think many people would expect me to be live. But today is the day. It's been a long time. Shouldn't have left you. But every now and then you gotta stop. You gotta live life. You gotta take some time to experience. You gotta take the time to breathe. You gotta take the time to reevaluate. What's up, Sam, man? Yeah, I'm smoking my best right now, man. That's what it's all about. Hope you're smoking well. Uh, Today is June the 19th. That is Juneteenth. It's a special holiday for a lot of people. Very special holiday for me. It's my birthday. So you know when it's my birthday, you know what it's time for. I didn't come on with any topics. I didn't come on with anything. I just wanted to see if this was if this was even active. I don't even know if YouTube would even push this out to people. So for the couple people that's watching, you have a moment, send it out to people, put the word out. I didn't go on Discord. I didn't go on Instagram. I didn't do any of the YouTubery, things. I didn't promote. I didn't go on Facebook, Twitter, none of that. I just want to see what would happen. Uh, I turned 45 today. It's I don't know why that feels big to me. I don't know why that seems like any different from any other birthday because I normally don't really, you know, do too much with it. I smoke this cigar, spend time with my family, and that's really about it. Y'all gotta let me know. For those that are in here, let me know if the audio is okay. I'm trying to keep my voice low. It is after midnight here in Japan. You can see I'm by the flames. But I'm in a Japanese neighborhood. Let's see. Justin just popped in. Just popped in on my phone. Good to see you. Appreciate it, man. Appreciate it. Appreciate the love, man. And it's good to see you, man. I know I ain't been around. I know I haven't been a presence much lately. So whenever I see y'all, it's cool. All right, audio is good enough. I know what that means, man. I gotta stay low though. I can't really be as boisterous and, as I normally am. I can't be as animated. So bear with me. So y'all keep me posted. Let me know. And when I was with the cigar collective recently with the cigar benches, I was telling them that I really don't know what's going on with cigars. What cigars are y'all smoking? What cigars are really making an imprint right now? This time that I've been away, I know it hasn't been that long, but I will be honest with you, it feels like a lifetime for me. It really feels like so much has evolved and changed as far as the people who are and the companies that have really made the imprint. I've been seeing a lot more of what is it, select cigars. I've been seeing a lot more of warped as of late. Who's that, Jesse? What up, man? Appreciate it. Appreciate the love. I've been seeing a lot more of warped. The perspective on uh, crown heads and soccer hasn't been as bright as it used to be. Um, I know. I mean, I know there's still big names and all that, but the detail and the adoration has not been the same. Is there a brand new cigar that, let's say if I was doing a top 10, right? If I was doing the top 10, who would appear on my top 10 list at this point in time? I would love to get y'all feedback and perspective on who would be, you know, the most talked about cigar brands right now. Uh, what cigar specifically has stood out? Taurus, what up, man? Long time no see, brother. How you doing? It's funny because I don't even feel like I got the same skill set that I had before. I don't feel like I got the same camera presence that I had before after spending, you know, 5 years, doing this and bring the right people in. It doesn't feel quite as natural. But bear with me, man. I'm just gonna stay on and I'm gonna chop it up, for as long as I can. So, let's see. I've been cutting back on smoking, but don't tell anyone. Hey, I can't knock you, bro. I haven't been smoking cigars nearly as much. Um, I actually had an issue where if I smoke a cigar, if I smoke shisha or hookah or anything like that, I wake up with severe headaches. It's almost like I got a hangover, or I would have like uh, pretty severe sinus pressure. So it's very rare that I smoke cigars. Now, I've actually been giving a lot of cigars away. Um, I've been, I just had the Aganorsa Supreme Leaf maybe a day or two ago, and I had a cigar when I was on with the Cigar Adventures. But that's really the majority of, like the cigars that I've been smoking. It's maybe one or two a month, if that. It's really been, um, you know, almost pertinent for me to step back and kind of step away from it a little bit. So I wouldn't clown you for that. You know what I'm saying? I've been really particular and picky about when I smoke cigars and who I smoke cigars with. I said I don't really drink anymore either. Congratulations, man. Congratulations. Um, didn't drink for 3 weeks. Blood pressure went down. Imagine that. Health is wealth. Take care of yourself, brother. I just made it to 45 today. So I totally understand that. I got a good friend of mine who is back in Virginia. He's a chef, and I think he dropped over 50 pounds just because he stopped drinking. So it's cool. Everything is in moderation, right? Thank you, brother. Appreciate the birthday wish. But everything is in moderation. And everything is about kind of knowing when to chill and when not to chill. Oh, you right there with me, man. Well, that's what's up, man. Happy belated birthday. Appreciate it. Honestly, I don't think I realized we were that close in age. I knew you were somewhere in the same ballpark, but I didn't realize we were that close. That's actually pretty dope. That's pretty cool. That's real cool. How did you celebrate, man? How did you um, take in turning 45? Tonight I went to Yakiniku King with my family. So that's a chain restaurant that's here in Japan. That's one of the best restaurants that's out here. It's a really cool experience. The kids got me some gifts, and my wife got me gifts and stuff like that. So that's really been it. And also, let me see whoever's in here watching, chilling, who has any kind of feedback on the NBA playoffs. Y'all got a There's a big game tomorrow. It's Indiana, OKC. Y'all got a dog in the fight. He said, I don't have a drinking problem. I have like 2 to 3 max, but when I smoke now, I'm pairing with coffee and sodas. Not mad at that. Once again, I can relate. Boom. So that's normally what I do as well. But it ain't even really about having a drinking problem, man. It's just the fact that like drinking alcohol in general is enough to change your body and your chemistry. So it is what it is, man. You know, it didn't even sound like you had a drinking problem. I don't even think my homeboy had one, but he just got to the point where he was just like, I don't like where my body is. Blood pressure, same shit. Justin said for me, most of the boutique brands have gone downhill lately. I've heard this about Cavalier as well too. Tell me if I'm wrong on that. He said, plus with all the price increases, the diamonds in the rough have been a lot harder to find. That's kind of tough, man. I hate to do the same correlation um, that I did before, but that's happening with sneakers as well too, and that just seems to happen with anything that's kind of a collectible, that things that people want to hoard and kind of do the hype thing on. And cigars is really a big part of that right now. So I mean, that's it's tough. It's really tough. He said the NBA will push it to 7 games for ratings. OKC takes it. That's kind of what I was thinking too, Texas. To be honest with you, that's what I call. Shouts out to Scott Foster. You know what's surprising, man? It's like I've had this cigar so many times, and I usually smoke it on my birthday. And I gotta tell you, this is never a bad cigar. It never lets me down, man. I might be paying for this in the morning after, but right now I'm really, really, really enjoying this. I said Thunder and Six, hopefully. I don't know, Justin. I don't know if it's gonna go that way. I don't know if it's gonna go that route. Um, Let me kind of go through the list. I think recently I've been smoking Psalm. Like I got a box of the Psalm cigars, and it's the one with the blue band. I'm sorry, I can't think of the name right now because I'm not nearly as invested as I was. But that's a cigar that I smoked recently. Uh, I just mentioned to you guys that I had the Aganorsa leaf, Supreme leaf. I've been holding on to each of those Vitolas for quite some time. I would say maybe 3 or 4 years. And I've been holding out on that cigar just because I've been trying to see, like, okay, if I give this cigar some age and I go back to a cigar that some years ago was super special, Aganorsa Supreme Leaf, the Robusto. I just had the Toro the other day during the sunset. Uh, I was going to do like one of the box press joints. And I just wanted to see how much that cigar has changed. Um, I also had a Fuente Forbidden, and what was it, Forbidden X? Do I have that right? I think it's Forbidden X. And that was a good experience as well. I've had this Solita Red, and I really enjoyed the Solita Red. But when I think about that Solita Red, it just kind of tastes like a Dumbarton. I mean, it's a good cigar, and I got no beef with it. And actually, that actually kind of, it kind of made me happy because if I ever go back to that cigar, I know I can enjoy that cigar again, and I know I can really appreciate it for what it is. It really tasted more like a Micarita than it did a Sober Mesa. Um, that's something I found really interesting, but it didn't blow my socks off. It didn't wow me. I've been watching Peter from the Cigar Collective. He's probably the only person that I really follow right now. Him and John with the Garrison. Uh, Shouts out to my boy John, Cigar Alchemist, too, for doing such a great job with his new business. But, just kind of seeing a lot of the cigars just coming from Peter, who I know has a similar palate as me, not really blowing them away. You know what I mean? And I've been kind of feeling the same way. My man Moses is up in here, man. He said, "Hey, man, nice to see you live again. Happy Juneteenth. Happy Juneteenth to you as well, man. I hope everybody um, who is getting the holiday, gets the chance to smoke their best cigars. I hope y'all get the barbecue those who really take the time to observe Juneteenth and can appreciate uh, the magnitude of such a holiday and such a holiday being present. I hope you all celebrate well. Hope your families are doing well. I just hope culturally you guys are doing well, man. So, big up to everybody celebrating Juneteenth. That's far more important than my birthday. Look how beautiful that cigar is, man. It never gets old. It never gets old. Um, I don't know, man. I didn't want to come, back and do, you know, pretty much smoke your best cigars, um, and just come back to do a random live video and really be a Debbie Downer. I didn't want that to be the case. I did, you know, want to have time with people who watch the show, who follow, and if they get the notice to come check out the channel and things like that, just to have a chance to chop it up and kick it. But it's really different for me. Uh, it's really different, for me to smoke cigars now. It's really a different process. I still love the experience. I still love the community aspect. I still love sharing cigars. That's why I've been giving a lot of cigars away. A lot of my coworkers right now in the cigars, so I've been trying to pass those on too. And I've been trying. It's funny, man, because my thing right now is you see a lot of people uh, that are getting into cigars, and it's still kind of the same thing. They smoke a lot of Cohiba. Um, they smoke a lot of flavored cigars, and it's still a lot of like Oliva and things like that. And I've been trying to just slide different brands in there just to say like, hey, you never had this before, try this. How do you feel about cigars? Do you like, Maduro? So I think that part of me is still in there, and I still love to get people into, developing their palates and having that camaraderie and getting that experience smoking cigars. And Moses, appreciate the birthday love too, man. You see, Justin said, I love to chop it up longer, but I have to run. Got to see you again. Hopefully, it's all working out for you. Just to add on to that, I know Justin probably ain't here no more, but I know I was telling you guys that before I was trying to do more on YouTube, and I was trying to do the movie reviews and all that kind of stuff like that. But really, I've been so deeply entrenched in just my day to day life that I haven't had a chance or the fancy to really sit down and make a video or edit videos and things like that. My kids have been in sports. My kids playing basketball, playing soccer, on the swim team. And I've been really busy with work. I've been really busy just trying to maintain home, that I ain't had time to do a whole lot of other stuff. That's including smoking cigars. I mean, even today, Juneteenth is a holiday. It's my birthday. And I went to work for the first half of the day. And by the time I got home, it was like, all right, let's go out to eat dinner with the fam. By the time that was done, I'm like, I do my Japanese courses, and I'm like, yo, it's midnight. I was like, but I'm just gonna try. I'm gonna try right now to see if I hop on and if I light up a cigar. Let's see if the algorithm actually sends this out. So if y'all are on right now, hit the like button, or just send a message on Discord, just to see if people are on, because I really don't know how dope this episode will be without people coming in, chiming in, and talking in the comments and all that kind of stuff like that. I just burnt the hell out of myself. Put a hole in my sweats. Such a nice cigar, though. That was a good ash. That being said, I know Big Jimmy is still getting busy. I know Cigars Unbanded have been doing a great job. And the homies from the Cigar Avengers have been doing, phenomenal, building the channel up, and just building the community. But are there any new cigar reviewers out there? I know it caught me too. It landed like right on my thigh too. But anyway, are there any new cigar reviewers? Are there new personalities out there? Has anybody come into the YouTube space? Has anybody come into um, the Instagram space and really shown like some real, you know, moxie and real love for cigar reviews? Has there been anybody that's caught your attention to make you say like, "Oh man, this dude is nice"? Somebody sent me a video of this guy that he just recently did. What was it? Top 10 or the most overrated cigars or something like that. I found that was like I found that it was really interesting. And a lot of the choices that he was making, no, it was overhyped cigars, but a lot of the cigars that he was mentioning were for newbies. And I'm not saying it was bad, but looking at it, I said nothing stands out. He said, a lot of the cigars that he was mentioning were cigars that were for newbies. You know what I mean? It would be like a Cohiba Red or something like that. And none of the cigars was like, none of these are really about that hype. None of them really felt like, okay, back when the Andalusian Bull had hype, back when the Tenderloin was hyped up. Uh, what are some other cigars like Sober Mesa Brulee Blue? When that was real hype. When Opus X, like Lost City, was at its peak, when that had hype to it. The numero uno. There were cigars that had a period where you know everybody who was anybody that was in the cigars were trying to go out and at the Aganorsa leaf that I had, um, Atabay, there's cigars that were really like touching the nerve. And it was really making people like, oh, okay, I got to go out and get this. I got to go chase this cigar. And none of those cigars met the standard for me. But I like the concept. I like, that the way he set his video up. I thought it was interesting, but I don't know if I would have been like, I need to hit subscribe to see what this kid is talking about. Does that make sense? You know what I mean? And I do, want to see people kind of find their voice and find their style and see how they develop. Let me see what Taurus is saying here. He said, let's see, I'm sub to pretty much everyone. Nothing stands out. Everyone just tried to follow the same shit, size, blend, and it's good or it's bad. Mm. I don't know, man. I really feel like it's so much more to cigars than that. I think that's like I think when Carpi came in and he was doing, a lot of the showdowns, I think that worked out really well. And I love the fact that, he really went deep into that and comparing cigars. Uh, Cigars Unbanded. I tell Peter all the time, like that whole concept of really being able to, smoke cigars, that are blind and seeing the growth that he's having, with the sponsorships on the channels. I think that's cool. It's really hard to innovate cigars, but there has to be a way that doesn't become stale. You know what I'm saying? There has to be a way of doing this that doesn't feel like you're repeating the same things. Now I know it's still tobacco leaves rolled up. I feel like a lot of the games in general is like monkey see, monkey do, and everybody is kind of playing the same way the last person played. It gets played out. I get it. I get it. But a lot of the things when it comes to reviewing has to do with the person that's doing the reviews. And it has to be a way for you to put your personality and your perspective into cigars to make people, feel like, okay, he's delivering this in a different way. Let's see. Most hype I've seen lately was for pork tenderloin. I've been seeing that pop up too. But does it even count if it's not a new blend? Man, that's a great point. That's a great point. The only reason why I would say yeah in this case for that is because when the pork tenderloin originally came out, you could not watch a review. You couldn't, log into this cigar blogosphere without someone giving their opinion on that cigar or bigging that cigar up. And it became a holy grail for a lot of people. You feel what I'm saying? And I look at it once again using the sneaker comparison. It's like when the Air Jordan white concretes came out again. That's one of the greatest shoes of all times. It's one of the greatest shoes of all times. And when you finally get that to be able to put it on your feet again and really experience it again, I see why people can get hyped because you don't know when it's going to come around again. And then you have that curiosity to be able to compare whether or not the original tenderloin is as good as the old tenderloin. And you got the newbies who are coming in to be able to say, okay, I've had this cigar now. And if it does live up to the standard of what it was before, I can see why that is generating some hype. That's actually a cigar that I never got to experience during this heyday. I really didn't even talk about it very much because I was like, hey man, that ship has sailed. It's not going to be a thing that I would ever get to experience again. It's pretty rare for a cigar that had that kind of mystery and that kind of hype and that kind of stature to come around again for people to be able to say, okay, I can fall in love with it all over again. So I kind of get why that has the hype right now. So to me, that kind of counts. He said Cigar Vixen dropped some bids here and there. It's funny, man. I never really got into Cigar Vixen. And I love the fact that people are still passionate about her, just in general, not, just what's the proper word here, not just aesthetically, but also for uh, her content. Peter, what up, homeboy? I was just talking about you, man. What's good? Wesley, what up, man? It's good to see y'all. Oh, okay. So Wesley saying that the Tuxtula joint is superb. So that's even better than the OG. I did. Well, which one was it? I don't know if it was the Avian Tuxtula. It was something from the Tuxtula that I had, back when I was still doing reviews and stuff like that. And that cigar did kind of stand out to me. So I would be mad curious to see like what that was really about. Uh, and I wish I could compare and contrast. There's still a part of me that kind of wants to go in and do the flavor testing and really like. I would love to get an OG, a tenderloin. Nobody's gonna let that go, and I ain't paying top dollar for that cigar right now. But I would love to get that and get one of the new ones before they sold out. They probably already sold out, but I would love to compare that with the Tuxtula. And I wish somebody was really like, you guys let me know if you've seen it or not. If somebody's really going in depth to compare those cigars, as in, if you go on to like YouTube right now, there's so many people that are taking the time to really, get in depth and compare, this shoe to that shoe, the 1999 to the 2025 and all that kind of stuff. I don't know who has the time or has the resources to be able to do that, you know, with any of the cigars that have like the recent re-releases, you know, you get it sometimes with like an Amazon basin or something like that. But I would really love somebody to go real in depth and kind of make that like an event. You feel me? But we'll see. He said, I still need to send Peter a package. Yeah, make that happen, man. That dude, Peter go all out for people, man. So if you can do that, make that happen. Peter said, I got a new pork tea for you. I'll put it in the box. I'll send it out for you, man. Thank you, bro. I appreciate it. I'm curious, but thank you, man. I appreciate it, honestly. I think I'm more excited, and I hope I'm around. Uh, for the next, what is it? It ain't burning Benjis no more. What is it, burning 50s? Ramos, what up, man? What's goody? He said, I'll think of something. That's dope. That's love, man. But nah, man. It's really cool just in general that I was talking to Peter about this, what is it, about a week ago or so, about how the community, one thing that has, been real solid with the cigar community is that everybody has really gotten back to being more positive. And it's so many different cliques, it's so many different collectives, pun intended. It's so many different, groups and just individuals who are just hanging out and smoking cigars. And everybody's really, treating everybody with love, man. And the way the cigar collective is really, pushing that and growing that is a lot. It makes me happy. I know I'm never gonna be involved with the cigar zeitgeist with the review space as I was before, but I love the fact that I can take some time off to pop on Cigar Collective or to pop on with the Cigar Avengers or just sit back in a private chat and kick it with the people and kind of see what's going on. It's good to see you too, man. It's really good to see you. I don't know how long I'm gonna be on, man. You know, I did want to spend my birthday with y'all. Um, and it's officially my birthday in America right now. So I did all my celebrating today on the Japanese time frame, but I did want to light up this and then have some time to really spend with y'all. So there might be some new people in here. The numbers aren't nearly what they used to be when I would pop on. I know the algorithm isn't quite the same, but I would love to hear y'all, to give me more insight on what the whole experience has been like for you guys recently, as far as like what new cigars are turning you guys on, even if it has nothing to do with what reviewers are talking about. What are the cigars right now that you were smoking the most? What means something to y'all? I mean, it got to be something a lot more uh, than just the tenderloin. You know what I'm saying? Saka was putting out, a cigar every other day at this point. Uh, it's got to be. Is there anything new from Ashton? Is there anything new from Diamond Crown? Like, I know Warped has been kind of busy, right? Uh, Everybody seems to be smoking Byrons at this point right now. Is there something, that is kind of been more appealing to y'all? It doesn't seem like uh, Cavalier has really been hitting like it was before. Let me see. Flaming Fitties, word up. If somebody sends somebody a moldy cigar, what does that mean? It means it was probably me because I did that to DJ by mistake. That was not intentional. I didn't realize that it was a RP cigar. It was a Rocky Patel anyway. So I mean, it wasn't that big of a deal. But if I felt bad, I really felt bad. It was that shit was like uh, some cordyceps or something like that. That shit was like The Walking Dead or something. So that that's happened before. I don't intentionally mean to do that, and I don't think anybody else intends on doing that. It's just you just when if you're not rotating your cigars and if you're not constantly keeping an eye on all the cigars that you have in your humidor, um, and if it's anything like here in Japan, we just a couple days ago just got out of the rainy season, so my humidor has been going nuts. My Tupperdoors have been wonderful, right? But I was going into my bag of Ben. What up, man? I see you. I was going into my bag of Sanj Patel cigars, and everything has pretty much been in the wrappers except for the damn. I'm drawing a blank. It was one of the Lanceros, SP 1014 Lancero, and that thing was moldy as all get out. I just had to toss that cigar. I just had to grab it. Everything else looked great, but when you're dealing with dead leaves and you're dealing with climate changing, when you're dealing with different humidity packs, and dealing with travel, all that kind of stuff, you really got to be on your P's and Q's. I know now for me personally, like the amount of time that I spent, managing, the temperature in my humidor and managing the RH and all, I don't spend nearly as much time doing that as I used to, right? It, this is not just smoking cigars. Like, it becomes like a science project. It becomes a hobby. Konnichiwa. I see you, Syndrome. Konnichiwa. Doshide, homie. Doshide. Um, Let me see what's cracking. Let me see what I missed. The new Placencia Amadel Cilio. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Wesley, I'm glad you brought that up. I saw Lawrence smoking that cigar. Peter, did you do a review on that? I don't know if you did a review, but I don't know if you did a grading on that. But I know a lot of people have been talking about that cigar. What is y'all opinion on that? That's definitely a curiosity. I ain't really like going out of my way to get that, but you know, Placencia is Placencia. But I'm glad you brought that cigar up. That's a great one. Appreciate the happy birthday love, man. Thank you very much, man. I see you, Taurus. He said radiation from Godzilla infected the cigars with radioactive fungi. Yo, it's pretty much like that, yo. That's pretty funny. Fukushima mushrooms. He said, "Yeah, I liked it, man. Spicy floral." Whoa, 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 whoa. What did you just say? Did you say spicy floral and you liked it? Word. Let me find out that Peter palate changing, man. I know you mentioned that. I think you did mention that before because I think I was giving you shit about liking the floral cigar. Let me check that out. That just made my birthday right there, man. That made me happy to see that you're changing and appreciate floral cigars, man. I love it. Nah, man, but that sounds like it'll be really good to me. You know what I'm saying? Like just the fact that that's a good combination and it's not a common combination. Let me see. It looked like we had another description for that. It said it's sweeter than the green band, more white pepper on the retro. Yeah, that actually sounds pretty dope. Hot box is up in here, man. What up? Good to see you too, homie. Appreciate you joining in. He said I'm a new man. The king got a new set of clothes. He said, "What was the one cigar you rage quit smoking? Was it the Gatekeeper? I rage quit that one. It was definitely a Gurkha. It was also what was the other one I rage quit on, man? I think it was one of the it was definitely a Gurkha, but it was one of Michael Herclott's cigars too. But here's the other thing, man. Here's the other thing, because Michael Herklotz has been making his rounds. Yeah, I know I gave a public apology to Michael Herklotz. I'm still not the biggest fan of the cigars in themselves, but I'm seeing a lot more people showing way more appreciation for that line of cigars than I ever did, right? Which is a cool thing. But I don't know, man. I don't smoke nearly as often as I used to, but there is a curiosity in me right now. It's just like, was I bugging? I don't think I was bugging. I did that 5 hour live that time. This is back when I lived in sushi. I did that 5 hour live. I just tried a whole bunch of cigars that I could not stand. And I just wanted to see if it was going to be like, would my opinion change? Would my palate change? You know, Peter at this point, might even want to, you know, go back and give some cigars that he wasn't a fan of that had, a floral essence a chance. We're not going to mention what that cigar is, but you never know. He might evolve. It might grow. It might be something that he really appreciates. I'm sorry, I'm trying to see the comments, but I got all these birthday notices popping up too. My family sending me messages and whatnot. So give me a second. All right, boom, boom, boom. I said, with you not smoking so much, do you have some regulars that you've settled into when you do? No, it's kind of weird, man, because I got a whole space that's slotted out for Dunbarton. I got a whole space that's slotted out for Placencia, right? Um, I got a whole spot that's slotted out for Fuente, and it's a couple of other regulars that I have in the humidor. But I really, for the most part, have just been like, okay, I got a rare moment that I can sit down and have a cigar, and I grab something that's been kind of unique because I haven't really been in a place where I've settled in like I was before, where it's like, okay, I know what my favorites are. I know I can grab a umbagog and sit back and chill. And I haven't really done that as much. So I've been trying to, you know, experiment a little bit with cigars that, I haven't had a lot of time with. And I've been trying to just kind of figure out what cigars I'm gonna am I gonna give away? What cigars are gonna be like, okay, these are the ones that I'm gonna keep around, that I'll allow to age for however many years. Because it's really been a back and forth of whether I was gonna take it easy, take it easy. I've really been trying to decide whether I was gonna completely stop with cigars or not, and that's been difficult, right? The difficult part is that I absolutely love the experience of sitting back and just enjoying a cigar or kicking it with the fellas and smoking and talking shit and talking sports. I love that side of it. I absolutely love it. But the downside is that some of the experience that I've been having after smoking the cigars, I haven't enjoyed nearly as much, if that makes sense. And the physical aspect of it has really kind of taken some of the joy out of enjoying cigars. And that's the part that's been kind of a Debbie Downer. So it's been really a sporadic and kind of erratic thing of how I've been smoking cigars. I hope that answers your question because I know that's kind of like a convoluted way of describing everything. Um, Wesley said, I think if Fuente releases all the cigars that's on slate for this year, it's going to be a Fuente year. But I doubt we'll see them all. I do like the Fuente doesn't rush anything, and that's a good thing. That's a good thing. I really think that with anything that has to do with craftsmanship and just attention to detail, and that needs fermentation, that needs maturity, rushing the cigars to the market, because I feel like that's what EP Corrido was really messing up. I feel like that's where uh, Crown Heads was really messing up. I felt like that's was really kind of messing up the experience that a lot of the consumers were having with those cigars, right? And Fuente is such an establishment and it's such a staple for cigars that if they fall, I feel like everything falls. I feel like if that building falls, then the city is destroyed. Does that analogy make sense? I feel like they have to be experts with that delivery. And if everything becomes monotonous, like so many cigars have been recently, it's detrimental to the cigar brand. Now, I know not everybody's going to be nerds like we are. I know not everybody's going to be connoisseurs. There's always going to be people that's going to smoke Fuente just because it says Fuente, just the same way they're going to smoke Cohiba just because it says Cohiba, right? And there's going to be people on the golf course that is going to smoke a cigar just because it's a cigar. But people like us are going to be the people that make the cigar industry continue to go around. We're going to be the people that's buying the box. We're going to be the people that's doing these in-depth reviews and doing the different shows and breaking down cigars and all that kind of stuff like that. So we need Fuente to be consistent. What are some of the cigars? Because I haven't been on Half Wheel. I haven't been on any of the sites like that. So I really don't know what uh, is new and what is going to be released and all that kind of stuff. I'm not hip to anything. Said I need to hop off. All right, man. I appreciate you, Taurus. I hope everything's good, man. I hope you catch the playback and see that. I was happy to see you, brother. Ben, I'm happy to see you too. I said I felt LFD started rushing the Andalusian bull. Yo, yeah, I was talking about that. This is not even recent, man. That they were rushing the bull, but Matt and I, Cigar Hound Dog, Matt and I used to go back and forth. It's like, if there's one cigar that is worth putting in your humidor and giving a lot of time to rest and chill, that's one that deserves some time to, let it do its thing and ferment the way it's supposed to. Because when that cigar is in the sweet spot, chef's kiss. He said they're not the same when they hit the market now. You have to let them rest. See, there you go. Resting was just an option before. I know, and that's a good point. I get it, and if you follow me before, you know how I am about that. Y'all know that I really prefer that if you're gonna release a cigar, I shouldn't have to wait for it, to age, 5 months, 6 months, a year, 2 years, yada yada yada. I think that's stupid. I don't think that's good. I think that's just a waste of time. And not everybody has the humidor space or the Tupperware space to allow all of that. That's crazy. It says Shadow Smokers Legion, Soy Sauce Assassin, and Midnight Cigars released their own cigar called the Project ITS in the Shadow cigar. It's a great cigar. Who did I see with that? I saw D Love with it, and I saw somebody else with that cigar. And I talked to a couple people about it, and I love that everybody is pretty much supporting such an achievement for uh, the Shadow Smokers Legion. So shouts out to Eric and congratulations to you, E. Um, I think that's really a cool thing. Um, from what I've seen of people that smoke in the cigar, that it looks like the cigar is burning really well, and that it looks like the construction on it is top notch, which is it's a plus. That is a great thing, and I feel like anytime when you release something like that, I can only imagine the amount of nerves that you would have, you know, with the anticipation of people who are literally tough critics and have been tough critics. So, if you were reviewing cigars yourself, you know how, detailed you have to be. Most people are going to be brutally honest. And if you're not being brutally honest, in most cases, you're going to be salacious and looking for clickbait and all that kind of stuff. And that leads to a lot of rough and tough opinions. So, for those of you that are in here, how many of you had the ITS, Project ITS? Have you tried it for yourselves? What was your experience with it? So Jesse just said it was great. You know what I mean? So I know it got to be some more of you who've had that cigar and taken the time to experience it. What are the flavor notes that are you getting? Is it anything that stands out? I have not watched anybody's reviews. Other than seeing pictures, that's all I know. And just kind of having conversations with people around the time that it was being released. And, I was just hyped to see, people actually taking this platform, be it YouTube, be it Instagram, and reviewing cigars and being able to get out and expand. It's not easy to do. It's well, now that I'm saying that, it just gave me, what is it? Forgive me if my mispronouncing this right, but is it Chamoy? That new cigar brand, they just hit me up recently, and they were saying that they were going to send me, their new cigar. I've been hearing great things about that line. I've been hearing fantastic things about that line. I don't know how I forgot that. It's They weren't able to send it to, my box. I didn't have the U.S. address available, so if they're waiting on me, hopefully I can get that to them in a couple of days, and maybe they can, be able to send that cigar out, because I'm kind of curious to see what that's about. The feedback from that has been great. Ramos, man, much love, man. Appreciate the birthday love, man. Thank you for joining in. I appreciate it. It's crazy, I'm an old head now. I'm an unk and I'm a vet, yo. That's just wild to me. But I'll take it. I'll embrace it. It's really nice with this cigar that every now and then, like you get that cherry, it's that sweet cherry note. It's kind of cool. And like, dog, the construction on this cigar is never bad. It's never bad. It's never bad. And if they were talking about, for one thing, having a line of cigars that are going to be coming out recently, I'm excited about that. But like, how do you beat this cigar? How do you beat it? It's nearly impossible to beat this cigar. Anyway, let's see. Ben said, I've been growing my own tobacco, vertically integrated day one, and it's crazy tough. Concheca one is quite a learning curve. Years before cigars getting handed out, it's definitely new perspective and appreciation. It's an art form, man. It's definitely craftsmanship. It's horticulture. It's a lot to that, man. Do you have farmland, or are you doing this like in a small garden? Like, what's the process that you're doing for growing your own tobacco right now? You say you didn't say old head? What I miss, man? What? No, no, no. And I'm not saying that you said that, Ramos. Well, I'm saying, like, at work, I'm the old head. You know what I'm saying? It's funny. And like, I work at a gym, right? So uh, a lot of the kids come in to play basketball, and I'm always talking to them, about the NBA, and just talking about basketball in general, and basketball theory and all this other kind of stuff. And when I dap everybody up and everybody's leaving, or when they come in, they be like, "What up, Unc?" It's kind of wild to me. It's crazy. But these cats are like 19, 20, you know what I'm saying, 25. So it's mad funny to me that everybody be like, "What up, old head?" "What up, Unc?" So it's OG. I'm OG at this time, not OG, but Japanese OG. I'm the young uncle. um, how do you think the Patron Black PB97 dropping in the 60 ring gauge is going to be? I think somebody asked me about this recently. It's my son. I think somebody asked me about this recently, Wesley, and I got two schools of thought on this, right? I'm not the biggest fan of the Gordo uh, Vitola, right? But if you're thinking about, you know, Padron tobacco, and you know how I feel about Padron, but that also says, that I know that it's quality tobacco, and that it's, quality craftsmanship as far as how they make their cigars. But they're also very dark. rich and bitter cigars, and they have very bold profiles. That's a lot of tobacco in order to do that in a Gordo, and that's not something they do very often. But could that size, is that going to be even more ligero, and is that going to be even stronger, or is that just going to be a lot more filler tobacco and actually kind of balance that cigar out? So for me, I think that's a good thing because it's a change of pace for Patron. And it also kind of gives a chance for this to have a completely different profile than people are normally expecting. So I'm actually kind of curious to see what the feedback is going to be for that cigar. I don't know. That can go those two different ways for me. You know what I'm saying? But it all depends on how they're going to blend that. But imagine having a full, you know, really deep, heavy, bitter cigar and that full ring gauge. But also imagine getting that cigar, expecting what you normally get from Padron, especially in a black, and have it to be, almost washed out. This can be interesting, man. I'm kind of serious to, see where that's going to go. Uh, Ben said, I'm all indoor with the LED lights. I'm about to say LED. With the LED lights, the curing and the fermentation is the hardest part for me. Weird balance to keep it right, keep the right hydration and temperature without mold. Yeah, man, I know that got to be tough work, but I'm curious to see how that turns out, man. Congratulations for you to take the time to really curate and cultivate something like that. That's not an easy task, you know. And I feel like most operations start small, start small like that, and you know, it's gonna be a different thing, growing completely inside. So I'm kind of curious to see how that's going to turn out. That's a lot of work. Hotbox said, I had the ITS spice at the light up, but it fades quickly. Then sweetness and chocolate comes in. Okay, that's nice. That's a nice little start with a bit of earth and leather near the last third. For me, it became a leather bomb. So B plus. Okay, okay. See that? Just going off of that, that's a very mature kind of flavor profile. You know what that kind of reminds me of a little bit? It kind of reminds me of My Father. Did it give you My Father vibes? Because if I'm smoking that, kind of barring the chocolate a little bit, my brain would have said, "This is My Father." So that's where I would have gone. If I'm just doing a blind, unbanded, smoke on that, I probably would have, guessed My Father, or that could very well be uh, kind of reminiscent of something like an Excalibur. It kind of has from what you're describing. I don't know, but that's where my brain would have gone. Um, if the second and third was with the votes of the whole cigar, it would rank higher. That makes sense to me. That makes sense to me. But I used to talk about it a lot. The crescendo on a cigar is, for me, one of the most important experiences. If your cigar can only go up from there, then especially when you get to the last third, if you can, that blends into a sweetness or a coffee at the end, that makes a cigar exceptional. But that being said, a B plus is not bad at all, man. It's not bad, especially on your first go round with a cigar. That's pretty damn impressive. That's pretty cool. So shouts out to the Shadow League on that one, man. That's really dope. I said, "What's up, EKB? Shock, man. What up with you? Long time no see, brother." Isashi Buri. He said, "Good to see you. I can't stay long. I'm working, bro. Yeah, no, trust me, man. I understand it. Keep working hard, man. But wanted to jump on and say what's up. I appreciate the love, man. It's good to see you, homeboy." I said, "It gives My Father or Perdomo vibes. Don't sign me up." I'm not mad at the take. I'm not mad at the take. I get it, but I'm not mad at the take. I wasn't the biggest My Father fan over time. I used to love My Father, but that changed over time. I still like Perdomo. I know with the the 30th anniversary and some of the more recent cigars haven't been a fan favorite, but I still love Perdomo. It's funny, man. I don't even think I have Perdomo in my humidor right now. I don't think I have any. I, what would y'all say? Would y'all say that Perdomo is overrated or underrated? I would love y'all opinion on that. Just off the top of your dome, what would you think? Let's see. Oh, what's up, Brody? I'm good, man. I'm good. Um, I'm enjoying, enjoying Juneteenth, man. I'm enjoying the birthday, uh, enjoying the downtime right now. I hope you guys can hear me clearly because I'm trying to speak low, and I hope it's not like all bass right now. So I apologize, but I just wanted to get this in. I got to work tomorrow myself. Having a birthday cigar, and what it's gonna be for the birthday. It's the eye of the shark. Got to treat myself well. Got to smoke my best. That's all that's really going down, man. Just really wanted to get vibe with y'all because it's been a long time. You know, I know it's pretty much early for the majority of the people who are on right now. It's during the work week. I hope certain people and the majority of you guys got um, Juneteenth off. That is a holiday that everybody should have time to be able to barbecue and go out and dap everybody up, show some solidarity, show some peace and love all across the map. So we'll see. I mean, I was just trying to be daring, just to jump out the window and see if this live would take off. I know the channel has been absolutely dormant for a while. I didn't mention to y'all, and I was going to kind of keep it, close to the chest. But I traveled not too long ago. I went to Osaka and I went to Fukuoka. And I wanted to see what some of the cigar experiences were like. And I didn't get a chance to. I was trying to renew my passport, and because I'm gonna be traveling back to the States soon, and I had to renew my passport. And I wanted to do a video to post on the Cigar Adventures. And it's going to be some time before I can do that again. But I wanted to do that as a surprise for y'all. It just didn't work out. I was way too busy. And the other downside is that when I've been mentioning to people, when I smoke cigars, the hangover that I get from cigars has been brutal. It's been brutal. So it's been very difficult to smoke. I didn't really want to do that, too much. Um, it's it's like I I've been getting a lot of messages and comments on this channel for people giving a lot of feedback on the cigar lounge reviews and all of that kind of stuff like that. So that has meant like a lot to me to still have people watching the channel, have people slowly subscribing still, even though the channel is pretty much dormant. But a lot of the love has been going to the Japanese experience. So I was trying to provide that again. I don't know if I'm gonna have time to do that, but if I can, I will definitely, try to make that happen. Sanja, what up? Long time no see. Hisashiburi. He said, Wesley said, I think Perdomo has an interesting fan base. One of them told me that the 30th was on par with the Opus X. I didn't know what to say. I wouldn't know what to say to that either. I would be like, all right, big dog, you got it. You know, like, yo, yeah, that's an interesting opinion. But I would also say there have been some pedestrian Opus X that have been out there. The Lost City, that's pedestrian to me. So I get it. I know John would probably get at me, but I kind of felt the same way about the Angel share. So maybe that's what he smoked. I don't know. He said most of Hotbox was saying most of Perdomo stuff seems to play it too safe, in my opinion. Kind of seems like they're going for more broad appeal rather than experimenting and taking risks. That is a great take. That is an absolute great take right there. That is to me, that is a very that is a plus, and that is a major minus at the same time. So I totally get that, and I just think that's just Nick Perdomo's personality type. He wants this cigar to be kind of universal. It's almost like Disney. You know what I'm saying? He wants everybody to get it and everybody to be able to smoke that cigar. And that was working for a while, but you have too many innovative brands and too many creative people and too many risk takers out there to continue to play it safe. But I feel like a lot of people who operate like that are gonna say if it ain't broke, don't fix it. You dig what I'm saying? That happens a lot. Roger, what up, man? How you been doing, brother? What you smoking on, man? I know you're probably not smoking right now, but you know, I respect your palate and you got a unique perspective on everything. So what's been kind of lighting you up? What's been getting you excited, man? Anything? I feel like you might be as busy, if not more busy than I am. So I don't even get to see you pop up very often. And every time I do see you, you're like, hey man, I gotta go. I got stuff I gotta do. So I would love to see what you're doing in your spare time. And Sonja, if you're still up in here, like what have you been smoking on? Have you found anything new or any new cigars that has tickled your fancy and been impressive to you? Let's say that. Let's see, I've been good, brother, bro. I have been busy. I haven't been able to smoke all that much. I can relate. I can relate. Besides the fact that I just personally have chose not to smoke nearly as much as I used to, not even close. But part of that is not even just that from me trying to stay away from cigars. It's just I ain't had the time. You know what I'm saying? I was saying earlier that a lot of the focus has been on making sure my kids were good, and making sure that they're getting their new experiences. And I've been number one dad. You know, Chichi Ichiban. So like I've been trying to make sure that I've been really present. So that's kind of taken away from that. Good to see you though. All right, so that's dope. You had the Cilio too. Cielo. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, but that's the Placencia joint, and that's been getting a little bit of buzz. Some it was brought up earlier, um, in what do you call this? It was brought up earlier in this conversation. I think that's a better way to put it. It was brought up earlier in the conversation, so it's been getting a lot of good feedback. So you're saying it's not bad too. It's good to see you too. It's good to see you too. I appreciate that. Don't make me blush up here. I'm trying to like stay cool and stay quiet and shit, but I appreciate that. It means a lot. Trying to see if the old man still got it. But I don't know if that comes around. It's still interesting being here in Japan. Oh, what part of Japan am I in? I'll say that. So I kind of tacked that on to what I was about to say. Being that I am in Japan in general, it's really hard to get a lot of the newer cigars that are released. And you guys know that I was saying this before. And honestly, if it wasn't for Matt, if it wasn't for Peter, and if it wasn't for Steven, a lot of the newer cigars I never would have had the chance to experience. The show would have never really been able to expand the way that it did when I was, doing reviews and things like that. Um, because just the market here is only gonna get certain type of cigars. And for a lot of the, the boutique brands, the Cas Dagleys, I'm not going to be able to experience that. Even, Cavalier is rare. Dunbarton is rare out here. Like all of that stuff, right? So that's been very difficult. And now, currently, I'm in Kyushu. That is the island that I'm on. It's at the south of Japan. It's not as far south as Okinawa, but it is at the bottom of the map. And I'm in a small town called Sasebo, and it's in the Nagasaki prefecture. So most of you will know Nagasaki because of the bombing and all that kind of stuff like that. This town is, even the Japanese people here tell me that it's like an island to itself. It's it's on it's on its own. It's on a mainland, so to speak, but culturally, it's on an island. So going out to get like something from Placencia, I probably won't be able to get that cigar for another 3 or 4 years, if that makes sense. Said the Cavalier you had was good. Do you know which one that was? Was it like Inner Circle or something like that? That was the last Cavalier that I had that kind of like really left me impressed. I think I got like one more Cavalier down in the humidor that I'm actually keeping, and it's a limited edition, and it's like a not a torpedo. What is that shape, man? It's a perfecto. It's the larger perfecto, not a pig, but kind of similar to that. What's the one that the Placencia joints that were really good lately? They had that kind of thick Figueroa shape. I can't think of the name of it right now. My brain is just frozen. It's after midnight. Uh, Hotbox said I had my first Avowed cigar last night. Tried the New Dawn. Not usually a fan of Connecticut wrappers, but the dark Ecuadorian Connecticut wrapper kept me locked in. Never got bitter, uh, like most of them. And yeah, that's pretty good, man. And what I've kind of noticed with that hot box is like, if you really kind of take your time with a cigar, that usually it doesn't, hot box, no pun intended. It doesn't usually hot box, and it doesn't usually get that bitterness. And especially if it's quality, like Ecuadorian, you can really kind of maintain, some of the sweetness with that and some of the spice that's in there too. So that actually sounds pretty good. I haven't had that myself. I think I got it downstairs, to be honest with you. I think somebody sent that to me. Oh, I'll get to another comment, and that reminded me of another cigar too. So appreciate that comment. I said can't remember, but playing band with the gold star. Playing band with the gold star. Sorry for the pause. I wonder if that was the white. Was it like a Connecticut? I wonder if that was the white, but I'm just guessing. But if you guys were following the Cigar Avengers, there was a brief period where they were smoking celebrity cigars. And I was, I kind of threw that idea out there. And they just recently did Marlon Wayans cigar. I had that cigar. I think that's Ecuadorian too, if I remember correctly. Somebody can correct me if I'm wrong. But I, I, I love the way that the cigar smoked. I was just sitting out with, one of my friends that's about to leave Japan. So he was smoking a Maker's Mark, and I had Marlon Wayans cigar. I was supposed to smoke it with the Cigar Ventures, but I was too busy to get on with them. And I was impressed with the way that the cigar smoked, but it wasn't a bad cigar. I would give it a C. If I'm giving it a grade, I would give it a C. The presentation, the burn on it was great. The smoke time on it was pretty spot on, but nothing about the flavor profile of that cigar stood out to me. And I don't know if my palate is just not as developed as it used to be. That's my personal opinion, but I felt like that cigar left me wanting more. And I didn't go back to watch the replay on the Cigar Avengers to see what they were thinking about it. I would love to, kind of know what was happening with that. So she said Marlon was here in Dallas. I missed that release. I still think I would recommend that if you can find it out there, I still say go out and try to smoke it and see what you think. And I got nothing but respect for the Wayans in general. But when you have celebrities, and I feel like with that cigar, it wasn't just, oh, I'm putting my name on a cigar. It really felt like, okay, I'm trying to get a cigar that I want to smoke and that I want to make it so other people can enjoy the cigar. I will give it that kind of love. Does that make sense? So I definitely would recommend to go out and try and see what you think about it. He said, yeah, I'm learning to slow it down, pace myself with the Connecticut's. That's what's up. That's what's up. He said, trying my best to figure out how to enjoy them. Slow and easily definitely seems to be the way to go. Um, you know, it's kind of crazy right now that it's like 4 episodes of the Vintage Cigar that are doing really well right now. That they are like at 10K plus as far as views. And when I go back to check on it, they're still kind of increasing, and people are still watching them, fairly regularly, And one of them is the top 10 Connecticut's, and I still feel like the majority of the cigars that are on that list, though it may be dated at this point, is for anybody that's trying to get into Connecticut's. Every cigar on that list is worth checking out, and I'm hoping that it's still something that's quality for people as far as being informative for people that are new to cigars to go out and try those cigars and develop their palates based on that. I don't know, man. It's like I don't feel like you can always leave a mark and always make an impression on people, but I was really going out of my way, when I was doing those top 10 lists and doing the buyer's guides to really be a beacon in a way and to really be a guide for people to like, okay, go out and try these cigars to see how that works out. Connecticut's are always like the startup and easygoing cigars that people try that are not like flavored cigars. And it's one of those things that it could get really boring, or it could be a turnoff for people smoking cigars. And I would want people to try Connecticut's where they can actually have a good experience, and whatever your smoking technique is gonna be, because I can smoke a bad cigar, but I can be the type of person that will hot box a cigar. But I learned that with a lot of the Connecticut's that you really got to pace yourself. I hope this cigar didn't go out. Now we smoking. Okay. It says, speaking of Connecticut's, the Angel Cuesta is coming out with a shade wrapper. Wow. Wow. It's kind of funny, Wesley, that you mentioned that, because when I was deciding what I was going to smoke for tonight, I had the Angel Cuesta in my hand. And I said, it's only right to smoke the Eye of the Shark. But I was so tempted to smoke that cigar. I was so tempted because I do enjoy that cigar, man. Um, Seeing that with a shade wrapper, that's going to be interesting. That's going to be interesting. Do you have a release date on that? Do you know when that's going to be released? It's almost 1:30 in the morning. Let's see. That's good news. I said I'll check it out. Try to pick up some of them. Let me know, man. Honestly, if you take the time to go and watch that episode, leave a comment. And I'm not saying that for analytics or anything like that. I'm really curious to see what you think about the list, especially with it having some time, to mature as an episode. And I think the majority, yeah, is it's early. It's getting into the afternoon there, but yeah, it's almost 1:30 in the morning here. But it's one of those things that I would love to see how well that ages. You know what I'm saying? I would love to see what the feedback would be as far as like, oh man, have I had those cigars? Or damn, I didn't even think about trying that cigar. So that'll be major. G, what up, man? You know, G, I gotta ask you, dude, before you get out of here, because I know you move faster than I do. I gotta get your opinion. Pacers versus OKC. What's your perspective on that? Good to see you, bro. Good to see. Oh, you just said the same thing. It's really good to see you, man. Um, it did go out, but uh, I don't know, man. It's I kind of feel like just the vintage cigar in general over time is going to become a time capsule, and it's going to be kind of cool to see like when these shows are popping up. He said OKC is going to end it tonight. That's what's up. We got one vote for the Pacers though. It definitely ain't over till it's over. If y'all don't mind me, kind of divulging and getting into that a little bit, uh, with Tyrese Halliburton being hurt, it kind of makes it really difficult for the Pacers. But I want to see if TJ McConnell can really be the X factor. And it's all up to, Pascal Siakam as well. But with with that calf injury, man, you know, that's real tough. But there's always Scott Foster. There's always the extender, right? So this is gonna be interesting. So I'm gonna be at work when the game comes on. So I ain't gonna get no work done. At least my coworkers know what's up with that. When the game is on, they allow me to just have a basketball in hand and just stand in front of the TV and just talk to customers and watch the game all day. Yeah, yeah. Look, y'all don't like, especially right now. I gotta keep my voice low, and I gotta be reserved. When the basketball game is on, it's like I'm dead, dude. It's like I'm in the game. I might as well be uh, Richard Jefferson. I'm talking about the game. I'm going crazy. I'm going crazy. I love basketball, man. But anyway, TJ ain't shit. Hold up, man. Hold up. You're not winning a championship with Pascal being your best player. I can't. Hold up. Look, man. G, you can't say a player ain't shit that came into the game and brought them boys back into the game. That man dropped what he dropped. It was 15 points in 18 minutes. Come on, man. You can't say he ain't shit with that. Come on, bro. Don't do me like that. Yeah, yeah. Sanjay, I'll be zoned in. I'll be locked in for real. I'll be locked in. Honestly, the only thing would be better is I can sit there with my bosses and smoke a cigar at work and watch the game. I ain't got that luxury, but that shit would be lovely. He said, that's me with the college football comes on. My people be like, how you lose your voice at the house? Look, man, look, when that game is on and when the game is like that and you really got a dog in the fight, look, go all out. You know what I'm saying? So, and I know with this voice, I know people can hear me all throughout the gym, because I'm locked in, man. I'm dapping everybody up. I'm pointing out, picks. I'm doing all of that. So yeah, shouts out to you with the college football. I feel the love, man. That's what's up. I'm the same way at the house, man. I got my daughter doing the same thing too. She on it too. So especially when the Warriors play, I totally get that. It was a good playoff. series too. Just in general, it was good. I don't know why people are saying like basketball still ain't entertaining. The WNBA been entertaining. The NBA been entertaining. Uh, the Big Three been entertaining. It's been some good basketball. Said Buddha them. For sure. For sure, for sure. All right, yo. I really appreciate y'all, you know, coming out chill with the old head, with the OG son. You know, and just chopping it up with me. I'm gonna stay on for another minute. I got a little bit of cigar left, but not much longer. Y'all threw out some opinions, man. You know, any questions that y'all may have had, and I know y'all ain't seen me in a minute, or just anything about what y'all have been experiencing with cigars. I ain't going yet, but I'm gonna go in a second. You see, it's getting to the tail end, but I do want to hear from y'all. He said, I like it. If they had their way with the Lakers and the Celtics would be in every championship. They were trying. They were trying hard. That whole thing, I didn't get to talk to y'all about that trade with Luka Doncic. That's one of the nastiest things I seen the NBA do in a long time. That was disgusting work. That was absolute nasty work. And that was all Adam Silver. Y'all can't tell me nothing. And the whole thing with Nico and trying to play it off, and LeBron trying to play it off like they didn't know what was going on. But that was some quid pro quo for real. That was some real like nasty work. And they were trying their damnedest to get the Lakers to expand and really get into deeper into the playoffs and get into the championship. But LeBron is old. I don't care how many steroids he take, he can't stay, at the top of his game. And Luka being out of shape, I could go in deep. No, that's crazy. Somebody said the NBA did that. I think the NBA did that for real. My whole system just cut out. That I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened. That might have been Adam Silver saying like chill. All right, let me get to these last few before I get up out of here. Shouts out to you, Ben. He said, "Oh man, have a great night." They don't Kyrie game stuff and others going down definitely disrupted the narrative. It definitely did. It definitely did. The injuries were major, man, especially with the Achilles tears. That was crazy. I was telling somebody recently that the Achilles tear is like the new ACL. You know what I'm saying? It's with the frequency, with the amount of time that's going to take for people to come back. It's really going to be major. All right, Roger, man. Peace and love, man. Thank you for joining in with me, brother. Hope to see you soon, man. But yeah, man, that's crazy. Anyway, I think that was a sign. So everybody that joined in, everybody's still here. Thank you for hanging out with me on Juneteenth. I hope y'all have a good holiday. Thank you for kicking it with me on my birthday. I don't know when I'll do this again, man. Thank you for the birthday love. Thank you. I don't know when I'll do this again. Let's see. Are there gonna be? Are they gonna get some Ant-Man some help in Minnesota? Hell no. Hell no. He just gonna have to step his game up. Honestly, I love Mike Conley, but I feel like Jaren Jackson gonna get moved. I don't know, man. I just don't see that happening. Cat is a lot happier in New York, so it's gonna be tough, man. Appreciate the birthday love, man. Thank y'all. Thank y'all for being here. This is always fun. This is always fun. This is I needed this. I needed it. And I appreciate y'all. Thanks for being a part of the Vintage Cigar, man. Y'all stay easy. Be safe. Continue to smoke your best. I'm gonna get up out of here. Moses, respect, man. Catch you later. So everybody that was in here, y'all be easy. Wes, Sandra, G. Yeah, I'm gonna see what's gonna happen with Atlanta, man, and see what's gonna happen with Orlando. You know, it's a lot, man. This the next season will be great. I ain't even get into KD, so we're gonna have a lot to talk about in the meantime. So y'all be easy. I hope it's a good game tonight. I'll see y'all in the next go round. Stay safe. Peace and love. EKB out.